story, but at this point today, what's your reaction to this?
Well, it looks like it's still a developing story. Earlier this morning, I was saying that some of the headlines indicate that there is a controversy among lawyers and aviation experts as to how the matter has been handled so far. Some people are alleging that, our federal government acted unilaterally, that the airline operators of Nigeria had no powers to have slammed down with a lifetime ban, and 3, that the Minister of Aviation was not in a position to take a decision to say, community service will mean that, we make Kwam1 an ambassador, even if people think the word ambassador means something. And I was saying, look, in some other places, when you commit an infraction, they can say, okay, community service, but that community service, there's a certain form that it takes. It's not about calling you an ambassador, and tomorrow Kwam1 will go and create a content, calling himself Ambassador Kwam1, and we'll turn the thing around, and Rufai will sit down here, and he will say, Ambassador, Abuja Talo, Tambolono, also Ambassador, Talazo Fuji, Mani Fuji, don't think we become this will become comical and ridiculous. The point we're making is that, look, there should be standards, there should be due process, and there should be equality of persons before the law. As for Ms. Amundsen, who has now been comforted after public outcry, well, she says she wants to heal fully, attend to emotional trauma and all that. But what we are saying is that she has rights under the law to press charges. The random violation of her rights, and there are lawyers who have said, well, they are ready to defend her pro bono, represent her pro bono, if she herself is willing to push the button and say that she has been unfairly treated. We have made the point about right to fair hearing. Now that she's recovering, when she recovers fully, I'm sure that Nigerians would like to hear our own side of the story. Now, the people covering her face, they didn't need to cover her face. She's a known person. If I already, some people have seen them on social media, on Instagram, they are looking for her. Some people in Delta State are already inviting her to come and attend programs and spend the weekend. Somebody has already offered to place her on a salary of 500,000 naira, every month. You see, the Lord works in mysterious ways. They may have created opportunities for her by trying to put her down. So you think you are pulling somebody down, you create market for that person. However, the big lesson here is about what the minister said, that there will be a retreat. And all the stakeholders will learn lessons from the experience. And it's not just the people in the aviation sector, even ordinary passengers. Do you know who I am proud? They all have an opportunity now to learn lessons. For all of us to realize that where your right begins is where another person's right ends, and where the right of another person ends is where another person's right begins. In other words, we live in an interdependent ecosystem, and people must just respect the rule of law and respect, where it comes to aviation, the right of other people to be safe. Whether you are a prince or a plebeian, or you are a chief, or you are a community leader, all of us must be governed under the same rule of law, and there must be no preferential treatment.
And that's why when you look at the Ibom Air incident, it was so easy for slaps to fly out quickly. And that's why when we have a dial back, so what kind of society do we want? Yes, action and reaction are equal and opposite. We've been able to dial back to see that, and we've got some evidence from people that were in the flight, anyway, anecdotal evidence, that, there might have been a provocation first. But the question we should ask is, did the provocation warrant the slaps? The pulling somebody out that way, the deliberate act. So for the upton time, people have gone to analyze that video. So there was a deliberate attempt by the member of the crew of Ibom Air to actually expose that woman's assets, and it was a wrong one. So they have analyzed the video over and over and over again, and you can see the deliberate act. So in the rage of something, your act is to deliberately expose and get somebody naked. I mean, this is the same country where we see that people fight in public and they're so quick to tear themselves into nakedness. So there's something culturally wrong with that psychology. I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say it came from a place of colonialism, because we've long gone out, but there's a cultural mindset of abuse. They're so quick to hit, they're so quick to beat, be it children, be it adults, be it everything. There are a couple of men that shout, "Oh, I am this society," and they beat their wives in the homes. They slap them. If their wives say anything, they backhand, they slap their wives. And these are the men that are leading society. So that's the kind of country we built. And except we try to change that culture that is no longer tenable, nothing will happen.